Good, happy Monday morning, afternoon, evening, whenever it is that you're listening to this. This is I've already lost count, 6th episode. That's really sad.
That is right.
Wow, what happens if we do 20 of these? Yeah, 6th episode of What Did I Miss? Paige, Gabe joining me here on a Monday morning. A Monday morning after a pretty action-packed football everything weekend. Mainly college football. You must have been off social media if you didn't realize that. That was rivalry week across the board. I don't oftentimes sit down on a Saturday and watch a lot of college football, truth be told. But I did stop to watch the Michigan-Ohio State game. They're two programs I have nothing to do with, although apparently my grandfather went there. Who knew? But yeah, I wanted to sit there and watch it. The crowd is what really got me into it in the first place because it was cold, it was snowing, it looked miserable, and there were 110,000 people packed in having the time of their lives. And then it actually ended up being a really entertaining game. So I don't do this very often. Guys, did you sit down and watch? Yeah, am I the only one that doesn't sit down on Saturdays and watch it? Gabe has little kids, so it'd be okay if you didn't. But Paige.
Well, I mean, everyone had excuses this week.
Yeah.
But I was just thrilled to hear that you were like, college football time. Yeah. Let's go. Like, you were into the glory of it all.
It was, kid hurdling another guy. Like, it was legitimately fun to watch. Did you have a horse in the race, Paige?
Not in that game, no. But I did watch a lot of college football. I think college football is maybe my favorite sport, maybe my favorite thing to watch.
Really?
Yeah, I think my parents are from West Virginia, not a lot of zero pro sports teams there. So we grew up going to like West Virginia football games every year. And like, as far as we were concerned, that was the only sport that existed. So I watched a lot this weekend. I loved every second of it. I loved all the overtimes. Like, just everything about it. It's so fun.
You do like why do you like the way the overtimes are settled?
Okay, I do.
That's the question.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
You do?
I
You're the
do,
person?
yes. There's dozens of us. Dozens.
There are 4s of us.
I think it's silly, but I think it's fun. And college football is fun. Okay. Like, let people have fun. It's sort of like ending, like, what if we ended like an NBA game in like a game of knockout? Why not?
I mean, I actually don't hate that.
I'd be on board
like
for.
Horse.
Yeah.
But that's what the 2-point conversion thing feels like to me.
Gabe, I take it you don't like it?
I'm not buying this because I'm not. I liked the knockout idea.
I don't hate it.
Sign me up for that. By the way, sign me up for knockout instead of 4 quarters of NBA basketball in most cases. I would rather star-driven knockout versus like having to watch 2 rando teams.
So basically
that
a
don't
shootout.
matter.
You just want to watch an NBA shootout where it's like your best guy, our best guy, your second best guy, our second, and then you just keep going until somebody misses.
Yeah, and some kind of a skills challenge thing. Because we all know that game 6 of the NBA season for half the league means 0.
How dare you?
So
it means a lot. It means a lot to a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
So we're off the point, which is that overtime in college football is confusing and never ending, and in most cases equally pointless and boring. And only like this week of the year do we have any tolerance for it.
What?
But it's silly. Yeah. No. Normally it's like, get it over with. Flip a coin.
But come on, that Penn State game, however long ago, a month ago, that went to 9 overtimes. What a treat!
What a treat!
Who's got time for that?
Me. I don't have any kids.
So wait, when you say you watched a lot of college football Saturday, how many, like, is this all in one sitting? Do you move around? Do you
No.
How does this work for you?
Yeah, no, we were my parents were in town this weekend, so we were bopping around New York doing New York-y holiday things. But like, for example, we went to lunch and my dad got out, his phone and just placed it. We arranged like a entire situation so that we could see the phone and watch the end of the Ohio State Michigan game. Like, we just love college football. It was great. And then we came home and watched it was like with the Smith. It was not fancy, but
okay, fair enough.
We went to and we watched the Iron Bowl, Alabama Auburn.
Oh, she really
which
does
is a great
like
ending.
This game. That's good. One has to. We have to love this. I like it sometimes.
So, Beadle, can I ask you something about the Michigan Ohio State game? So you were there for it. It had the weather. It had the as you mentioned, some fights. I liked seeing like 6 linemen gang up on a little dude. That was fun. And then it had trash talk. It had all the elements. Where are you on the like winning and then talking trash that Harbaugh did? Like, how does that stack in your
because hadn't he not beaten
rankings?
them this whole time? Like, that was
correct.
just
he's been useless against them.
I like trash talk almost in every single form that it exists, but it is a little weird on this one because this was his first win against that program. And I don't hate it. It's just much cooler and much ballsier when you trash talk all the time, whether you win or lose, because then I'm just like, okay, that's just who you are. You're kind of a punk, but that's a good thing. It's a little too easy to do it after a win like that, but I get it. Like watching the whole thing as it ended and the swarm the field and he gets lost in the madness and the mayhem, I could see how you get wrapped up in it, but it would have been way cooler had he said that before the game and then pulled it off, obviously, because then you're like, Billy B, like, you got this. It's just.
Did you see Juwan Howard get in there?
No, was he the giant tall guy that was above everyone else? Yeah, I was like, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, we just saw him in Vegas last week for basketball, so I was like, oh, there's Juwan Howard again. He was in the weather. He stood. I mean, that was wet snow. That was like wet, cold, yucky, snowy day, and no one seemed to care. And you had your required shirtless wonders in the crowd. Yeah, it just seems like, I wonder if they even went to school today. Like, how long does a celebration like that last? It looked like they won the national championship. So how long do you do this for?
I mean, in their world they did, and this now gets them a chance to win an actual national championship.
How'd y'all feel about those crowd? Like,
I mean, honestly, like, I've been around Michigan fans for a lot of years. I don't think there's been a better day in my recent memory. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a time where Michigan fans could have been happier than this since like early 90s, like Desmond
I could see
days.
that. I mean, I saw friends of mine tweeting that I had forgotten even went to Michigan or even watched sports at all. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, Claudia, you did go to Michigan. Like, never seen her tweet about anything like that or text or any of it. So that was kind of fun, I guess. But like, I just never had that.
I did feel over congratulatory to everyone I know that went to Michigan.
What? What? They didn't do anything, first of all. Like,
exactly. But I'd be like, congratulations, you did it. It's like the elf. World's best coffee.
Yeah. What? God, that's where sports gets weird to me. Like, congrats on your team that you have nothing to do with, nor did you even. Half the people didn't go to school. I found myself wondering that about some of the crowd shots. Like, those two programs seem to have a lot of fans who never actually stepped foot on either campus. And maybe I'm just presuming or assuming, and I could be wrong, but like, I just feel like when I talk to people around here, like, did you go to either one of those or no? And I've always found that weird to be a fan specifically of a university that you did not go to. Like, I've always found that to be a little bit weird. Like, if you pick a team, maybe you lived in that city, what have you, but like when you pick a college, I don't know. Doesn't that feel weird? Or am I just being a jerk?
I mean, you're speaking to a USC fan who didn't go to USC.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
Who's jacked up about Lincoln Riley. So I don't know if I get to.
I wasn't going to
actually
advocate, but he outed himself.
To answer that question because I want to know what your logic is.
Well, in that case, it's sort of like this is the only college team we've got worth rooting for in Los Angeles.
Rude.
Some familial connections. Okay. So why not? Like, if you're going to jump on a band, like, I'm a bandwagon Lakers fan, you know?
I'm sorry.
Why not?
What?
Yeah. Oh, this will come up, you know, from now to the end of time on this
right
show.
Now you're a
I
Lakers
jumped
fan.
full on.
Right at this moment.
Oh, yeah, big time. Big Lakers fan.
Okay. And he's always said that.
Right. Yeah. I've been a Lakers fan since the minute LeBron James signed with the Lakers.
You're the worst person ever. Okay, well, I guess I still don't really get it. You know, you don't have to root for a college football team, right? You don't have to pick one in your town.
But then you miss out on Saturday. So you would have missed out on all these games we're talking about. The drama with Alabama, the drama with Oklahoma State, by the way. Just as happy there as they are in Michigan,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know if you could be as happy as Michigan. All right, crowd shots, Michigan. Did anybody else get stressed out? I was
hated it.
It was like, and by the way, just prefacing this with, this isn't even necessarily a COVID take. This is, I've never liked large crowds take. Stampeding sort of is a fear of mine. The minute they just started like ants on some food, I got really stressed out. I mean, it's a heck of a visual and it's a wonderful shot to see on television. It's so colorful and bright. But as far as like being in it, I started to get in a mini anxiety attack. And then, of course, you can throw in, obviously, we're still in a pandemic. But then you double super spreader event. But it was, I still get a little bit breathy when I think about it. I don't like shots like that. And some people get off on like being in a crowd like that. Makes no sense to me. That's how you die. Yeah, see, but neither one of you is like, who wants to be in that crowd? And it's snowing and cold.
I think I would be excited to get down there, but then I would immediately want to leave, and then I wouldn't be able to leave, and then that would make me panic.
Yep.
The part of it that weirds me out is sort of ties to what Beadle was saying about like, okay, so you didn't even necessarily go to this school, but you're saying like and you're rooting for this team. That's like a little bit weird, but I think that's how it is at a lot of big state schools. What weirds me out is when you look closely at those videos and like these players just had the greatest moment of their life and they want to be with their teammates and their coaches. And then like random freshman, it like runs up and like grabs them and gets in their face and is like taking selfies. And they're like, bro, I just won the game. Like, I'm not the same as you. We aren't
same,
together.
Same, but different. Like, that's like this. No, that's not it.
That part
well,
weirds
I do
me
think
out.
It's a security nightmare. And I know he's surrounded by cops and whatnot, but okay. There's a crowd of, I don't know how many make it back on. Let's just say 10,000 people all of a sudden right around you. You can have all the cops in there. What's going to happen? It's terrifying to me. Maybe that's just old fuddy-duddy, but.
We'll actually get to that a little bit later in the show, but not to like be too dark either, but like there's also a bigger concern in my mind for Michigan fans rushing the field being close to Ohio State players. Like for how charged any of those rivalries are, right. I would be worried about player safety. I don't know. I don't like that. But the SEC will fine schools who rush the fields. We'll get into that later. Sorry.
Oh, where will they find the money though? To
buzzkill.
I know. Sorry. Well, I'm gonna keep it on the fun track right now because I could get a little more sad. Okay. Let's just move on. One thing I want to talk about because we speaking of not.
Injuries?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Cancer.
I'd
like to talk about cancer for the next 20 minutes, if that's okay.
Oh my God, let me finish. Okay,
sorry.
What I want to talk about, speaking of not actually going to a school, is we jinxed UTSA.
Yeah, I know. Well, we did we? Because remember, we didn't try to get him on, coach. And that was the big thing, was like, don't bring him on. It'll definitely, is it because we merely talked about having him on?
I don't know.
Is that how powerful we are? Oh, crap.
Let's not say we here. I don't think I want to be associated with this. I think you jinxed your
they got
alma mater
too. It wasn't even like close.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's a heck of a story and highly unlikely, I guess, that they would have gone undefeated the whole way. But man, that would have been awesome. And I do feel like we jinxed it, but I would have felt much worse had he been a guest on the show and then they lost. And that's all I wanted to avoid. Now everybody can be on the show. Also, what is the deal with Cliff Kingsbury and people thinking he's going to go to Oklahoma? Why would he do that? Like, why would he do that?
Well, I think that they're projecting forward that he does what he usually does and collapse in the second half of the season. And so he isn't the head coach of the first place Cardinals. He's actually like the head coach of the very middling Cardinals. And then at that point goes and takes that big job. I think is the logic.
We're already past the halfway point.
I know. I don't buy that. I mean, I'm just saying. I think that's what people
I think the inside baseball is that he has 1 year left on his deal, so his agent is smart and saying, "Well,
like
he could go," and then it's all the tweets happen, and then he's going, "Well, he could get this," and so.
I just don't. It doesn't logically make sense to me. I don't think it logically makes sense to anyone. Not that I'm trying to knock, being the head coach of Oklahoma, but you are a head coach in the NFL of a team that's doing very well. I don't even know why that would be a conversation. It's like, it's just bizarre to me. It's like an actor going to a really crappy show for no reason. Why would they do that? Not that Oklahoma's crappy. Not there's anything wrong with it. But it makes no sense. I feel like there was a lot of that this week. A lot of like, oh, he could go here. Like Odell Beckham. I was kind of interested in the Packers. Or I saw somebody say, the Bucs thought about drafting Taylor. I'm like, these are all hypothetical things that you may or may not have actually thought. But what's the point in reporting any of it? It'd be stupid if you didn't consider all of those things. I just assumed you did, but reporting it makes it look like, oh, I want everyone to know that I'm not that stupid and I actually thought about it. Does that even make sense? Like, of course you thought about drafting a kid. I would think you thought about drafting every kid, and that's how you got to where you got. I don't get this reporting.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes it's just like Paige said, just an agent likes to jack up the price, so they text the right person in the media, and then it becomes a story, and then shows talk about the story, and all it was a
Are
text.
you saying that you can use
Like,
the
I
media for your own personal PR?
In the year of our Lord 2021?
Doesn't sound ethical and cool.
Well, the other side of this is the Lincoln Riley thing.
love.
So the job is open because Lincoln Riley's going to USC, my team, my USC. Long-time USC fan over here.
Well, and not only that, because he was like, I'm not going to LSU. Next question. I loved that. Then find out 12 hours later, he's going to USC. Didn't lie. It's a loophole in the lying process. Did not lie. Good for him. I think it's brilliant.
That's why they say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but
exactly.
the truth. If you don't specify, then people don't have to tell the whole truth.
I'm not going to eat that cake. I might eat the pie, but I'm not going to eat the cake. Did not lie. And I think that's like totally fair. Good for him. And it's a nice scenic upgrade as far as I'm concerned. Like, I get to live in LA. You're never going to suffer for money because good Lord, college coaches are making some cash. But yeah, I'm happy for it. I'm glad the way that it all turned out. I feel like I don't think I've ever spent this long thinking and or talking about college football. I don't know who I am right now. And Matthew McConaughey, of course, via Texas, not running for governor of Texas after all. It's like all full circle. It's all centered around college football.
Maybe he'll be the next coach of Texas.
Honestly, why not?
Plot twist, he goes to Oklahoma.
Plot twist.
He's like, no more governor. I'm out.
Dude, Matthew McConaughey, that would be like remember when Joaquin Phoenix did that like 2 years of pretending he was nuts?
Well.
Or claimed he pretended? Yeah. What if Matthew McConaughey went full heel and like became the Oklahoma head football coach, and all of Texas would just like they would lose their minds.
He bleeds orange as far as people around here are concerned. Like, he's a staple on the sidelines. He teaches a class there. Like, this is it would be a hell of a heel turn. I'm not against it.
But 5 years later, it was like, it was for a bit.
I was charging myself.
For a role.
I was learning for a role, which I totally get. Bummer, dude. College football. I think that's all I really watched the most of, other than the crap game on Sunday night in the NFL, which honestly we should all be given like $20 for sitting through in the first place, because that was awful to watch.
Real bad.
Comically awful. I almost watched a Hallmark movie instead of that game, but I got outvoted in the house. Awful.
Yeah, the NFL, this was not their weekend. This was definitely a college football weekend. The what's his name? Bryce Young over at Alabama probably won the Heisman. Now we got national championship sort of almost set. I mean, I'm glad to hear, Beadle, that you gave this a full Saturday, because now we get to talk college football for the next
college try,
month.
as you will.
And we will.
I think we should take a break, because honestly, I need to just think about who I am for a second and how I just talked about college football for like 17 minutes. So we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back with something else. We are back, and before I throw it to you guys, I have two things I'd like to mention that are not sports related, but are very important to the survival of this nation and the unity that we're currently seeking. Number one, high Christmas present list item. Rihanna's putting out pajamas with the butt missing, and I'm a big fan. Although the hole is in the wrong part of the butt, that's just my own personal preference. Number two, watching a little bit of the Beadle stuff, although I want to wait till it's all out and then just spend 9 hours of my life on the couch. But I'm not going to just sit here and say Yoko Ono broke up the band. I know that's cliche, played out and old. However, the delusion that woman had when she sat in a room full of four of the greatest band members, arguably in the history of the world, and screeched into a microphone, seriously, as if she was performing an art piece, was so angering that I may not be able to watch the rest of the documentary. That's all I want to say about that. But I know people like that are delusional on what their talent levels are. But to see it amongst the freaking Beatles, it made my heart beat fast, and I did not like it. That's all. I feel good. I got that off my chest.
Can we ask a follow-up question?
About the butt one, or the okay? Go ahead.
Back to Rihanna. What? You said it covers the wrong part or uncover.
Well,
what?
it was reminiscent of those old like onesies we had as kids, but they would have like little flaps so you could go potty, and you say potty because we were kids.
Sure.
This hole is like at the top of the butt. So it's meant to be like butt cleavage, which is meant to be sexy. And I'm more of a practical pajama person. So I thought it should have been lowered so you go potty. But it's not. And it's Rihanna. And of course, she thirst trapped us all when she put out the picture because now I saw her butt. And where the heck is the music, Rihanna?
Thank you. Where's the album? That's what I want to talk about.
You know what I love about it, though? She doesn't have to do music ever again if she doesn't want to. She built a billion-dollar empire in between her last album and now. Good for her.
Still want the music. Still want the music.
I do want the music. Oh, okay. So that's one question. Yep.
Just one heads up to everyone. When you Google image Rihanna pajamas, it's not, you don't get her.
Are you getting like the Fenty lingerie line? Savage.
I don't know what the hell I'm looking at, but it's a lot of pictures and very very little of it is what you were describing. Well, if you find it,
she posted it on her own thing. They're like kind of like flannelly looking. It's funny because the pajamas themselves they're not uber sexy, but then they are sexy when you leave the room. Got him.
Yeah, I see it now. Okay, well, hey, I learned something. That was what I missed. Should we find out what else you missed?
Good luck, but yeah.
Oof.
All right. Paige, start us off. I think Beadle probably knows this one.
Beadle, I'm sure you saw, but Steph Curry continues to terrorize the NBA and became the fastest to get to 100 threes in a season with 19 games. One interesting tidbit is that the previous record was 20 games set by himself. So...
God, I love when you break your own record. That's just killing the game. So wait, the last record, it was 20 games it took him to get to 100 threes. Now it's 10?
19. Just one more game.
Well, okay, good. Okay, that's fine. I was like, that doesn't make sense because we're way past that. That is, I just love, I don't know if my feelings are going to change on this. I don't think they are, but I am loving this whole Warriors quiet comeback while the world concentrates on other things. The game against Philly the other night, brother on brother, like they were getting killed by the Sixers. And I remember turning to my friends being like, don't even worry about it. They're going to win this one. They're going to win it easily, hands down. And like, that's what they do. And then you still have Klay Thompson waiting on the bench, probably still with a towel over his head until he can come back. And I cannot wait. I just want them to dominate. If my Spurs can't win it all, then that's my next best thing. That's what I'm rooting for. And if you would have told me 5 years ago I'm rooting for the Warriors to make it back to the finals, I would have thought you were the biggest liar in the world. But here we are. The story's too good. Steph is too easy to root for. I love everything about this. The kid is damn good. Damn good.
So far on this show, you've endorsed Matthew McConaughey being the Oklahoma coach and the Warriors winning a championship.
I've totally lost. Oh, wait, that's not good.
And you're in on college football. There's some weird stuff's coming next. Yeah. I don't know.
I just bought a sports car and I'm dating a really young boy. Okay, go on.
I mean, we could probably talk more Steph because I don't quite know how he's still this. Like, I get how the bigger guys can still be this. I don't know how because remember when he was coming out, it was like, he's too small, he's too frail, his ankles, he's never going to last. So what happened? Like, just none of that was true?
I don't know if you know, but talking heads sometimes don't get things right. Every once in a blue moon, inaccuracy prevails. But I also think what makes Steph timeless is that his gift is shooting. And shooting doesn't go away. It just gets better. Like, the more you do it, the more you practice, the muscle memory. Like, it's never going to get worse for him. It will always... Like, he's going to be 75 years old and messing around with, like, grandkids, whatever, and still have this amazing, beautiful shot. So that's, I think, part of it. And he doesn't need to be... Like, look, he gets fouled hard. I mean, we saw that. I've never seen him be that bad. But it's just... His skill is one that doesn't... It's like being good at golf. Like, golf doesn't go away. You know, you can still play in your 60s and 70s as long as you just practice. And that's, I think, why he's never going to leave us. He's never going to leave us, you guys. But yeah, the shooting is forever. That's a good saying. We should write that down. Shooting.
He's just fun to watch, in my opinion.
Like, he takes threes from, any other player does it and you're like, what are you doing? You can't take a three from there. There's like 3 minutes left in this quarter.
But it's not even just taking it. It's like taking it and walking away but knowing it's in. I mean, that's so fun. It's so fun.
And still looking like a child. That's the best part.
Not me. I'm a diehard Lakers fan, so I'm not as excited about it. Yeah. No, diehard. Been with him a long time. Through the good and the bad.
The other fun thing with this story is that he is probably, I'm going to say he's definitely going to break the all-time record for three-pointers this season. Currently held by Ray Allen, which is 2,973. He is at 2,937.
Oh, yeah, for sure over with. Also, get Ray Allen out of here. I'll never forgive that dude for being the Spurs. So, yeah, I'm all in. Beat that one, too. He's going to have a lot of good records by the time he calls it quits. It's a pretty remarkable career.
Beadle,
in 2050.
Yeah.
You know who we should get in to talk about that when it happens?
Who?
We should get Paul Pierce.
Yes. He would love to talk about that.
Nothing weird will come up when we talk to Paul.
All right, fine. Booking it right now. I'm going to guess which game it'll be. Okay. I think it's going to take place in March. Okay, writing it down.
I know.
I mean, he just hit 100 threes in 19 games.
Yeah, but I feel like there's going to be maybe he's going to sit out a few. Fine, February. God, you guys want to argue.
I would even say January.
No. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark it here.
God, it's so good.
We'll play this back in January.
Did I miss anything else? Probably not.
I think you missed this. I missed this until just recently when I caught up on this. So apparently Michael Strahan is going to space.
Woo!
With some people he knows. Would you like to go with Michael Strahan to space?
Okay, first of all, I almost said something mean, but I'll keep it. Number two,
right.
I take Xanax to fly 30 minutes. And even then, I'm a neurotic mess for the week before, and I'm not fun to be around on takeoff. So the idea of going to space is absolutely comically, gigantically a big positively no. I would never even think about it. Also, it's not guaranteed that you're going to survive. Like, number one, I guess nothing is, but you're really kind of taking a chance. And you're just flying up and then coming right back down. I mean, it's cool. I guess you tell your kids, grandkids, and whoever that you did it. But people that want, there are people paying millions of dollars to be on lists to do this. He just happens to be going with, I guess, who is it? A bunch of rich people and philanthropists and whatnot. No.
Apparently, I have a list of names of people he's going with. Most of them are unfamiliar names. One can't possibly be the same person I think it is. There's one person listed as an investor who I remember as an agent. It might have even worked with you at one point. Can't possibly be the same guy.
It can't be.
Yeah, it's a bunch of rich people. They might be very nice people. Maybe they're scientific minded. I don't know.
Do you think people are doing this for science or to bragging rights? I mean, this is a hell of a baller move. I've been to space.
I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Nobody is doing this for science. This is not.
What do you mean?
based.
Jeff Bezos has great intentions.
Great intentions. Look, Jeff,
Across
you just
the board.
keep bringing me weird random items overnight to my front door. That's all I care about with Jeff Bezos. And it's I don't know. I also had this weird preconceived notion that astronauts trained for things and this was a whole and now it's just jumping on a JetBlue flight. I'm like, all right.
I thought you had to be in incredible shape and
right?
I mean, maybe these people are. I don't know, but it just seems like a lot. I also I think I would be okay. There's some mental gymnastics that would need to happen in my brain, but I think I'm cool with going up. But I genuinely don't understand how you get back down, and that really freaks me out.
Okay, what?
The physics of it? Didn't you watch Apollo 13?
Yes. It's not helpful.
That's got all the answers.
And then just fall into the ocean, and then we go find you.
How does it work? Okay. I don't like that. That freaks me out. I don't like that.
But doesn't
re-entry
mess with you? Do we not know anything about flying into space? Or do we know everything about flying? I can't tell.
All right, here's what I want to know. If Michael Strahan is going, what are the odds Michael Strahan can be talked through repairing a spaceship if it breaks the way that they did in Apollo 13? Can Stray get himself back from orbit?
Let's not forget Armageddon also had a fixing stuff theme to it. And then we lost everybody during an Aerosmith song.
Great point.
I think he's coachable. He's an athlete.
You're gonna have to, and this isn't for Strahan. This is for any normal civilian human. You're just gonna have to really dumb it down, because I would imagine the parts to a machine in that world are highly technical and not with names that any of us would understand. So you're gonna have to really put this red piece over there, the green. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I don't even think you can talk someone into changing a tire. So I'm not sure how this would work. But what are they doing? They fly up. I'm like looking at these names. Fly up, come back. Tell your friends. So you do the selfie? What if you pass out? I would take so much Xanax, I wouldn't even be with it. I'd be like, okay, that was fun. Like, it's just, no chance. No chance would I do this. Gabe, would you do it?
Okay. No, space is overrated. I just in general don't care about space. Never did. Just it's like it's stupid. Why are we spending time? By the way, we all grew up learning the planets, memorizing the planets. Guess what? They're not the same planets.
Things change.
Yeah,
Why is that bad?
It's stupid. Who cares? Pluto is or isn't a planet?
Yeah, but
what
we
does
still
it
get to
matter?
say Uranus, and that's all I ever cared about.
I train my kids to do that. If you ask my kids what's their favorite planet, they say
it will never not be funny. Okay. Yeah, so nose around. Kind of. Paige will go up, but she doesn't really want to come back down.
I would do it. I would do it. Not like tomorrow, but once this is more of a thing.
Oh, if I knew I had cancer and 6 months to live, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
Sure.
Even less reason to go. Do something cool. Don't go to space. Go to Hawaii. Like, go to some beautiful place on this planet.
Both. I have 6 months.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
I'm gonna cram so much junk into 6 months, it won't even be funny.
Space. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the freaking ocean.
Okay, now that's scientifically.
That's the real space. We don't know what's happening down there.
It is a dark and twisted world. Okay, we've got 2.5 for going up, 1 for going down. Got it.
We'll say up.
Did I miss anything else?
Yeah, you sure did. Well, we talked about this earlier, but I want to get into it slightly more. And now that I've outed myself as a college football fan. So, this weekend alone, Michigan, Minnesota, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Washington State, probably more, but this is all I could find, rushed the fields after the win. In past weeks, TCU fans rushed the field after beating Baylor for the 6th time in seven years. Fair. Colorado stormed Folsom Field after getting the 2nd win of the season, period. My beloved Cal Bears also stormed the field at Stanford after winning big game. I would say this is an absolute epidemic. The SEC fined schools for rushing the field. Alabama, notably, has never rushed the field, and their fans take great pride in that. My question for you is the bar for rushing the field too low?
Yes. 100%. 2nd win of the season is not a rushing the field moment. That's just you are not very good, and now we're celebrating that, which is partly why America's in the situation that it's in right now. Okay, participation flags. I would say no, and I rushed the field once in college when I was still at UT Austin, and we drove up to College Station for the annual, at that time, Thanksgiving game, and Texas won, and everyone rushed the field. And it was terrifying. Not because it was just a big, giant crowd, because it wasn't. We were away. But it was their cadet corps, I forget what they call them, basically are like cops during that situation. And it was a mix of 2 groups of humans that really don't like each other for a variety of different reasons. And we were in the wrong because we had it was insane. Like, they take grass seriously in College Station. Like, you can't walk on patches of certain grass because you get yelled at because it's a memorial, or it means there's too much tradition and weirdness. So for me, it was not fun to rush the field, but it is a very blatant observation on humans in this sort of mass. Like, one person does it, and the next thing you know, there's 50,000 of us just standing around. We have no idea how we got here. So finding them, I don't know if that matters, but I also am impressed that Alabama's never done. How do you coordinate that to make sure it never happens? Is that something freshman orientation that they instill and say, also, when you go to football games, we never rush the field no matter what? I mean, they've won some pretty big games.
I imagine that Saban just decrees it so, and that is the law of the land.
That's impressive. I'm not saying I'm impressed by Alabama, but this particular moment I am.
I don't know if you've observed this, but tradition means a lot down there. So I feel like they just pass it along, and that's
what
just
would
the way
happen
that
if you were the one person who tried to rush the field? Do they punish you?
Shot on sight.
I'm sure a few guys have tried.
Shot on sight.
It's open carry
nice
stage.
Boy, but we told him.
I'm sure there's been like the Will Ferrell in Old School, like one guy who's like, "Come on, everybody, we're going streaking," and then just like doesn't end well.
Person has to at least try it every year. One. Let's see if we can find that person and have him on as a guest.
Let's see if we can encourage that person, guys. If you beat Georgia, rush the field. They're the best team in the land. Man.
Rush the field at Mercedes-Benz.
And we'll pay the fine.
Yeah,
somebody will pay the fine, not we, but yeah, we'll figure that out. I want to see it happen. One guy.
I went to a school that wasn't especially good at sports. We didn't even have
why
a
don't you share that
team
school?
at
There
GW.
you just said it.
Yeah, GW.
So not USC, just to
and
okay.
I did
far
not go
from
to
USC
USC.
as one could
I went
be.
to George Washington University. We had a basketball team.
Congrats.
And I remember thinking, talk about lowering the bar. I remember thinking, like, oh man, St. Joe's is here. They're pretty good. Like, if we beat St. Joe's, I'm going in. Like, you get pretty desperate when you go to a school that isn't used to winning. Sad. So I'm just saying I can feel for some of these places that got their second win of the year. Like, not everyone is Alabama.
That's fair. And not everyone gets to be the prettiest girl at the party.
It just feels too much like an Instagram thing.
Oh, well, nowadays, sure. Now it's like, it's all about us. It's about me. So I want to be on the field. No, you weren't good enough to play a sport. Get off.
I hadn't considered the groundskeeper angle though, Beadle. Do you think the Michigan grass guy is kind of pissed?
Yeah, I think he probably had a nice bottle of alcohol or something with him to soothe himself. A, because it was freezing, but also now I have to go deal with this garbage because it's wet. It's like wet, and now it's all stampeded on. Yeah, no. I hope they get a raise every time that would be nice. You give the grounds crew a raise every time these people do this. I'm in. Let's make that
solved
happen.
it.
Yep,
we solved it.
America.
Anyways, it's a problem. Stop rushing the field.
It's a problem. Stop it.
Drives me insane.
All right, I feel good.
You guys,
get off my lawn.
You started the show in the figurative get off my lawn.
That's right.
And you are literally
That's exactly right. This is who I've
become.
become.
I feel good about it. I feel good.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I missed that much this weekend, which is a good sign, guys.
I think you missed this. Vita Vea, the large man plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have other players, by the way, on the Bucs. It's not just Tom Brady doing it by himself. Yeah, no, I know. Vita Vea lost a tooth during the game this weekend. Totally unfazed by it. Beadle, have you ever had a tooth
No, but I have
out?
recurring dreams about it, which apparently means something. Somebody said it was money related. I
What?
think. Yeah, like dreaming about losing a tooth. I'll have to look it up, but there's something to it. I did see the image of him just smiling, and it was like such a moment of what it takes to be a football player in the NFL. Like you can't think like the rest of us. Like knocking out your tooth has to have some sort of a moment, but he just seemed to enjoy it, and it made him tougher. I have nightmares about losing one of these teeth, and then you wake up and you're like, because you're like, I gotta go get my teeth put back in. Like, what just happened? So it means something. Are you looking it up? Look it up, because I can't remember what it is.
I don't want to look.
Have
it
you
up.
guys
That
not had
sounds
that
terrifying.
dream where you had a
No.
recurring nightmare? What? Really?
Not that one.
No.
That's a thing, guys.
I have this weird dream that's been recurring for years that I'm trying to run, but my legs don't move fast.
Oh, that's a good
I'm
one.
running like
yeah,
in
and you can't get
slow-mo.
away.
Yeah. I think that
Okay,
one. That
I
one's
looked
pretty
it up.
obvious what it's trying to tell me.
Is it financial?
No, it's guys. I already kind of brought us down earlier. I don't really want to bring this up.
Just do.
but
This is your role. So just own
it brings up. Okay. It brings up worries about losing someone or something close, important to you or close to you.
There you go.
Oh, no.
So it's another anxiety that you get to have while
Like
you're
Lincoln
sleeping.
Riley.
Yeah.
That's your coach.
Well, guys, good news. Vita Vea, anxiety free,
no.
apparently.
Doesn't care.
Because it did not matter at all to him or his
like,
coach.
At all. He looked almost like, bleh, gross. Life
Life's
is
good in
good.
his
He'll get no
world.
tooth. All right.
You know who has lots of worries?
Apparently me.
I'm going to tell you about this. Your Nets. I know you love them too. The fans there are booing James Harden
Yes.
because he's turning the ball over. If you were in the crowd as a citizen, now you're a public figure. You're not a media member. You're not Michelle Beadle, famous
yes.
NBA face. You're just a person. Would you be
probably,
booing?
but I love booing. So, like, that's a whole, like, booing is fun. And it's also, look, he also came out with, this wasn't his quote, but it read as though it's difficult to play for the Nets and he's still trying to figure it out. And a lot of people reacted and I included that it was just like, it's difficult to play with like one of the best players ever. Like that doesn't make any sense. It says more about you than the team. And he's one of the leading sort of whiners about all the new rules, or at least how they're being called. So not a good look for Harden. You have a chance here with this team to do something great. Figure it out. That's it. Just figure it out. This is now super team era, and you are on one. Let's go. And yes, I would boo. It is weird to boo your own team, though. I've never booed the Spurs, put it that way. Never. I wouldn't even think about doing it. So, unless they all killed a dog.
But they don't seem like they're extrinsically motivated anyway. Like, I don't think that
they're not
booing
booable.
The Spurs would...
Yeah.
What Pop's taking care of that in practice,
I think.
right? Like what
Although
is
He's
now
he
doing
they're
them
so
in
young.
practice.
Yeah, he hires people to go in and boo him just in case. I don't know. I guess when you're young, maybe it has a bit of an effect. Everybody has an ego and some feelings, but yeah, you would think it wouldn't affect them, but I don't know. Harden, stop. God.
I've never understood him as a player. I've never understood why anyone thought he would one day mesh with other players. I mean, he's obviously a good scorer. I don't get how many times do we have to see him go to a team and the team somehow be better without him than
I'm
with
going to
him.
guess two more times.
We just keep seeing this. Right?
Yes.
And I don't even have strong feelings about the guy. I'm just like, look at the data. He's one of the best players in the league, but he's always on a team that underperforms.
Right. It's also, how are we defining one of the best? Like scoring a lot, okay, but how does he get to all those points? Is it a team effort? Is it just him? Is he flopping? Like what? How do we get here? And I think sometimes either it's not overlooked, because that would say that like GMs and whatnot don't know what they're doing, and I think they do. But yeah, it's one of the, Russell Westbrook is obviously another argument for that. It's like, sure, fun to watch, score a lot of points, but then what happens when you put him with someone else? Does it still work? And so that, yeah, it's an experiment that will continue to happen until he decides to stop playing basketball, unfortunately. But again, like, you can do something great here in Brooklyn. Like, figure it out. Period. That's my take. Hot take.
I think you probably missed some more news. Paige, what else we got?
Aaron Rodgers, as we know, injured his toe. But it came out that he injured it in quarantine, not at practice, which also begs the question, he's now missed a bunch of practice but continues to play in games. Is this the greatest con he's pulled off yet?
Yeah, practice is overrated. Why would he need to practice anyways? Like, the only people who have to practice are the people who don't get it yet, or young people who are just sort of, you need the reps. He doesn't need to practice. This Aaron Rodgers saga has been very interesting this year. It's just kind of like he's always sort of part of the story. But he does it in an interesting way, because he's part of the story football, obviously. He's great and they're doing things. But then he's also managed to somehow be part of the story in off-the-field ways, which I never really equated with an Aaron Rodgers type. But here we are. So yeah, I'm assuming he stubbed it on like the bed, like the leg of the bed. I think we all do that. But yeah, practice is overrated. I hate rehearsing. Gabe knows that. Always have. Always will. Mm-hmm. I quit piano because I didn't want to practice anymore. Like, I hate practicing stuff because you just waste all the good. Maybe. Or at least you tell yourself that.
I think Aaron Rodgers has he's found out what a bunch of people who are very famous have recently discovered, which is that, like, you can just lead people around by the nose now by just doing things that provoke a reaction, and then it doesn't even matter. Your reputation isn't hurt by it anymore. Like, it doesn't make a difference. You just go about getting reactions all day long and then laugh when people misunderstood it. By the way, Kyrie figured this out before Aaron Rodgers did. You just say wild stuff and then kind of act surprised when people are surprised, and then kind of like...
Isn't that just called gaslighting?
Like,
Yes.
That's the word for it. Yeah,
you're right. They are really, really good at that. I forgot about Kyrie. What's he been doing this whole time?
And I think he's just entered the world of gaslighting. So, like, whatever he's saying about his toe, it doesn't matter.
He's still getting those MVP chants coming off the field.
Yeah, no, he does. I always thought he liked messing with the media, but now I think he's really messing with the media. And some media is figuring it out, and I think some are still playing along. Which is weird to me.
But he wins either way, because if they figure it out, then they're like, I'm not taking the bait. I'm not talking about his stupid toe. This is pointless. And then he gets them to stop talking about it, which is what he wants.
He does not lose here. It's a brilliant position to be in, and we should all be so lucky.
Yeah. Here's a terrible position to be in. Stuck way, way up high if you're afraid of heights, which apparently Lane Kiffin is, I guess, afraid of heights. A TikTok video is out there that makes it seem like he was sort of afraid to go near the edge of a railing on a second floor of a mall, I guess is how we would describe this. Beadle, how afraid of heights are you? Not heights in planes, just like heights.
But
also, that makes your teeth fall out in dreams too.
Second floor of a mall, I don't know if I consider that heights. Like climbing to like the top of Pisa, that's the heights. But that's...
Well, how high is too high?
It depends. Now, if I'm on a 100-story high rise, that's, or like what's the thing in the Space Needle, right? Like those are very high, and they give me a little bit of nervousness. But then again, if you climb up an 8-foot ladder and then look down, that also can be scary. So it just all depends. But I will say this: I'm going to go ahead and say that it doesn't count as a heights fear. Second story of a mall. That's silly.
So there's something else going on.
I mean, I'm not discounting he might have a fear, but that for me, who's scared of like apparently a lot of things, that does not feel like one. But then again, I could be wrong. Is he troll? There's another guy. That guy likes to troll too. So who knows? He's good.
I think you're either a Lincoln Riley and like loophole lying, or you're a Lane Kiffin and you're going head first with tweets every 10 minutes.
The troll of all trolls. All right. I did miss that one. Now I have to go find TikTok.
He's one guy who's probably pretty pissed about some of these other coaching rumors. Hearing Lincoln Riley take the SC job, hearing Cliff Kingsbury associated with Oklahoma, things like that probably piss him off.
Yeah, but I also think it's what motivates him. Like, it's a good thing. All right. Is that everything? I feel like it's everything. No.
Let's do one more. An NHL player, Brendan Lemieux, bit another NHL player, Brady. Oh, I'm going to mess this up. Kachuk, I believe is how you say it.
Sounds good. Yep.
Bit his hand. Straight up bit his finger. Charlie bit his finger.
He bit my finger. Okay. Are you saying for biting people's hands?
Did you see? Yes. Biting people's fingers for or against on the record.
That's disgusting. Like biting and breaking the flesh of another human is disgusting. That should only be saved for moments of extreme self-defense, which I do not think counts in a hockey game. And like, I'm not even taking into account like the germ aspect of it all. For me, it's just flat out gross. I don't know that I could bite a human being unless it was like a life or death. Because I've tried to bite like my brother or sister in fights when we were kids, and my mouth starts to shake. It's as if I just can't do it. So disgusting. What's the punishment for that, anyways? Like, also, you're uncivilized. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, every quote that our guy Brady has about it is just like ripping him to shreds. But it looks like he has a Zoom suspend or like meeting or something, but it's likely going to be 6 games or more suspension.
Dang. Okay. It's pretty
good. Don't bite people. We learned that in pre-K.
Like seriously.
So I missed this one. Is this Mario Lemieux's kid biting Keith Kachuk's kid?
I mean, they are the names that...
You're exposing my hockey knowledge here. I have no idea.
It has to be, right? I mean...
I only really knew anything about hockey in the age of what I'm guessing is their fathers. Can this... Maybe this goes back 20 years. Maybe this is a rivalry. Like
Brendan Lemieux is Claude Lemieux's kid.
Claude, okay, also, fair enough.
Yep,
Claude played in the NHL.
And then Kachuk, I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, if there's 2 guys named Kachuk and who play in the NHL and they're not related, that would be an upset. That would be what else we missed.
Yep.
That's Keith Kachuk's dad.
Yeah.
Or son. So I'll bet you there's a Lemieux-Kachuk rivalry from the 90s.
My God, I hope so. This goes on for generations. This is hockey's greatest story.
It goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, this is like, your dad did this to my dad. I hope there's a woman involved. Let's do this.
We can only hope.
Yeah, you did say those 2 last names, and I was like, I don't know a lot about a lot. But those are familiar names. All right.
That's it. That's
I'm going to go down this rabbit hole. Okay, I'm going down the rabbit hole of this probably for the rest of today to get some sort of, there's something between these 2 humans way back in the day. Well, this was a good weekend, by the way. We had a lot. I feel like we've talked for 17 hours on here. That's good, right?
There was a lot of stuff, and we're not done talking college football, are we? I feel like maybe we shouldn't give away all our ideas here, but we've got some potentially great guests talking college ball for another couple days.
Do we take a break and come back and tease that?
Nah, we're done. I don't think there's anything left to tease.
We're done. We'll see you on the next one. Okay. Now, officially, we're done with today's podcast. But as I'm going to remember to remind you, subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends about it. Holiday gift is just giving them the knowledge that we exist.
Just the knowledge alerting them to the existence of the podcast counts as a gift?
I think so.
Can you put that on a card?
It's like a stocking stuffer.
Oh my God. I'm going to go down a Kachuk Lemieux rabbit hole. Enjoy your day.
I'm so hoping
I do too. Somewhere. What if there's video of them fighting like all the time? Oh my God. This is going to be my favorite thing if it is. Who can we ask? Ugh.
We got people at The Athletic who know more about hockey than any other people on earth. So we can get to the bottom of this. I'm happy to do it immediately, but you also have a couple guests this week, and as soon as they're 100% locked in, we can tweet the whole world and tell them about it. But we're talking Michigan ball more this week.
Now we're done?
Go Blue, don't rush the field.
We're done. We're done.
Go to space.
Go to space.